Welcome to RickDancerTV. We are in Coburg for the Coburg Antique Show and Sale. We're going to show you why 25,000 people are here on a Sunday. It's Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. We're going to talk about that.
And I get to talk to my very good friend CYD from KZEL and talk about what he does in Eugene Daily News.
We are here with Cheryl Abaspour, a city councilor in Coburg. She's also been involved with the Coburg Antique Show and Sale for
21 years.
What is the Coburg Show? What is this Antique Show and Sale about?
Oh, it's so much more than antiques. It's fun. It's the sun. It's running into people that you know, as well as shopping all the antiques, eating all the food, listening to the music.
This is kind of what you're known for, isn't it? Coburg is, and you want that. That's kind of your brand.
Absolutely.
People come from how far to be here?
Oh my gosh, there are people that have come from California, Washington. They come from everywhere.
Tell me about how much this brings into the community. This is a big deal for Coburg.
It's huge. This is our Christmas in Coburg, actually. There's 20 to 25,000 people that show up at this event. We have all of our shops out here that, in fact, I used to have a retail shop out here too. And this is our Christmas weekend. This is when they make the biggest bucks of the year.
Oh, sweet. I love finding old stuff at the antique show out in Coburg. That reminds me, actually, back to school's coming, can be really expensive. Cleaned out my closets and I went to Goodwill and saw a bunch of scores for you parents. Brand new stuff, basically, $1.99. Anyway, watch this piece, you'll see. Oh, Scott, check this out. I'm here at the Santa Clara Goodwill, one of my favorite places. I cleaned out my closets, it's that time. And it's also back to school time, which I know can get expensive, but I have some ideas. Let's go see what I can find. Check this out. Transformer shirt, coolest ever, $2.99. A long sleeve knit, another $2.99. All of this stuff is under $5. How about some red shorts? A dress for the first day of school? That's just cute. I might need that. And everyone needs one of these because they're back.
The traditional school doesn't always work for everyone, and sometimes they just don't fit into that mainstream. Well, there's a charter school in Eugene that educates kids in a unique way.
If you come to the Network Charter School in Eugene expecting a mainstream educational experience, you will be pleasantly surprised because the Network Charter School is so much more. They allow no more than 15 students to a classroom. There's plenty of one-on-one attention from the teachers. There is a huge commitment to art and music programs. And the students who attend here are eager to show up and ready to learn.
I was not a good student. I hardly ever went to school. I was failing all of the state tests.
What is different about our school compared to the mainstream schools is they take all of that standardized curriculum that students have to learn and then they make it energetic, enthusiastic, authentic, and hands-on.
Just more than 100 students are enrolled in the Network Charter School. Those students attend classes at 4 sites around the community.
So the students actually go, they use city bus and they travel per site, these different sites, depending on whatever their course choices are.
Grades 7 through 12 are represented here, and most will leave with fully accredited diplomas that meet Oregon standards.
So instead of creating a very narrow room for them to study, or here's the ceiling and this is what we expect and this is, this is what we're asking you to do, it's more about opening the ceiling. It's about really expanding the vision of possibilities.
This uniquely structured program received its charter status from the 4J School District in Eugene in 2003.
All of our curriculum is built on the state and federal standards. So everything And any course that we develop is built on very solid, systematic courseware.
4 member organizations partner with Network Charter School to teach students. The focus of Nearby Nature is on environmental studies, science, math, and hands-on outdoor experiences. The Materials Exchange Center for Community Arts, MECA, brings art instruction, sustainability, recycling, with math and science mixed in. The Peace Village teaches conflict resolution, history, current affairs, and civic involvement. Le Petit Gourmet Culinary School offers courses in meal preparation, professional baking, history, language arts, and Spanish. Students prepare whole food gourmet lunches for the student body.
The students learn everything about running a kitchen and a business as well.
Students show up at the main campus for literature, math, and even guitar lessons.
I went to public school and that just wasn't really working out for me because the classes are too big. I wasn't getting one-on-one help with the teachers. You know, it was just really hard. I didn't enjoy school.
That's the difference. Here is taking what you have to teach and making it into magic.
I think every person, without exception, at this age is looking for a community of some kind. And I feel like we have so much of that in the foundation of this program.
Classes are 3 hours long.
I think along with that idea of everybody wants community, everybody wants to be heard. They want their moment, they want to shine, they want to share, they want to express. And we have that space and time to do that here.
Here, it doesn't matter what you look like, what you wear, how you talk, you know. Everyone accepts you for who you are and what you do. It makes school better because you don't have to worry about fitting in and you don't have to worry about looking a certain way or acting a certain way.
I feel like that is a piece that is a part of each of these programs, that that type of nurturing, just to empower that personal voice, empower the person who's becoming, to go out and have it. Go out and do it. Go out and see it. Go out and make it.
It's really shown me that I can do whatever I put my mind to and that there's no limit to where I can go.
Em, you found Phyllis Bear.
Who hasn't?
Phyllis, well, there's so many antique dealers here. I was going all over. You're
This
like,
is the Phyllis. What do you mean?
yeah. So tell me, you are from where?
Hornbrook, California.
So why do you come all the way to Coburg for an antique fair when you're
Oh,
obviously
there's
a
a
dealer?
lot of things. I mean, for one thing, look at this town. It's so collective. You know, it needs an antique show, and it has one. And you can find anything you want to look for here. You've got carved oak furniture, thimbles, vintage toys, glassware, everything.
How long have you been coming here to do this?
I think this is my 14th year.
Where do you come up with stuff like this? And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing antiques for 37 years, and I used to be a picker.
Do you watch those antique road shows?
Yeah.
Do you think they don't know what they're doing?
A lot of times, no, they're pretty good,
Nice.
you know. 4 o'clock this morning, we were just getting out of bed.
That's about, you know.
Oh yeah, well she was supposed to be at the office at 11:30 and she was just hopping out of bed at that time too.
Oh, you
Turns-
sleep in.
So, do you ever sit around and come up with great ideas where you think that would really sell, or that would be a really cool restaurant business idea, but you didn't go to business school, you don't really know how to initiate that idea, that invention into an actual plan? Now there are people with a game plan for you. At LCC, Rick did a story all about that and actually figuring out how to put your little idea into a big plan. Check it out.
Sometimes a great idea tempts us into starting a business.
I was shopping at the Goodwill one day, which I like to do because my salary had been very low, and they had a half-price sale in the kitchen appliances department. I saw this little ice cream maker.
And sometimes it's just life.
I was going through a divorce and I purchased the business, and I always emphasize the word purchase the business from my ex-husband. At the time I was a homemaker, raising 3 children and going back to school to get my degree. And I took over the business December 1988 and did not have a clue what I was doing.
Running your own business is the great American dream, and it's all about freedom to do what you want to do.
The Small Business Development Center is here to keep that dream from becoming a nightmare.
What we don't want to have happen to someone is they wake up 3 years down the road and they're $150,000 to $200,000 in debt and they still haven't made a dime in their business.
Aaron Broderick understands structural engineering. That's his profession. Thanks to SBDC, he and his business partner are starting to better understand the business end of what they do.
You sit there all day long cranking out projects, and you don't really realize that there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff too that you need to work on. The gears of your small business, if you will, and SBDC is kind of the oil that lubes them up and helps you to run really smoothly and pinpoints all those things that you may not be paying attention to on a day-to-day basis.
What we try to do here initially is give people kind of a broad brush of the business basics.
The number one reason small businesses fail is owners run out of money before they learn how to make a profit. The Small Business Development Center, through its many classes and programs, helps you figure out if your business idea is viable, and if it is, helps you start a business, run the business, and make it grow.
We also have a employer training services department, and these are for the larger firms in the area that have a number of employees that need to be trained in a number of different areas.
Glory Bee Foods gets high marks for its customer service, but after training with the Small Business Development Center, discovered customer service is broader than management thought.
It really was an eye-opening experience in that there's a lot more to it than saying hi to a customer or meeting a customer's need or taking an order. It's more about our relationship. Not just between me and the customer, but me and the guy in the warehouse or in accounting or in maintenance. And that's a vital piece of what we do that we hadn't really focused on.
When someone walks in and they have a good idea and we see that that could form a viable business, we then determine the classes and or programs that will help them the most. And in those classes and programs, we try to help them identify their vision and mission for that business.
Well, the Small Business Development Center was vital for what I was learning to do. They pretty much held my hand that first year. They, they came out to the shop, sat down and visited with me in my environment, walked through the environment with me, really taught me the basics of business.
How much startup capital they're going to need, how to track their financials month to month, how to sell their product, how to market their product, how to treat their employees and stay out of legal problems when dealing with employee issues.
So the class that we took at the Small Business Development Center really gave us confidence. I would say that's the most important thing. Like, we came into it no business experience, no entrepreneurial experience. We had what we thought was a good idea, but we didn't really have the confidence or the understanding of what it takes to translate that idea into something that would work out in the world.
I'd say if you know what you want to do and you want to do it, you owe it to yourself to go check out the SBDC, because they have experts down there who will save you a lot of time and hassle in the long run by letting you know some of the vital things to pay attention to up front rather than having to learn the hard way.
The small business development taught me that I did have what it took to be a business owner. It taught me that I can be whatever I want to be, and I can be successful at it, and I can have fun at it. And it just showed me that I really do have a love of marketing and working with my technicians, working with the customers, and being part of our community, part of our bigger community. All those things I think I learned first from the Small Business Development Center.
That's good.
One of the most difficult things I've ever had to do in my life was fight prostate cancer. I'm working with the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute to promote prostate cancer awareness, to show people that there are a lot of treatments out there that are available through this organization. This is my story.
When the phone rings and your doctor informs you you have cancer, life forever changes. I work in the television video production industry. I do online videos and decided, after a lot of thinking, to make my cancer very public.
So here's the thing. I have cancer, prostate cancer. And I'm just shocked, just kind of stunned and numb and scared and afraid.
My diagnosis came in January of 2010.
I didn't want to die, but I also, to be honest, I didn't want to lose my ability to have an erection. I mean, that's a big concern for a guy. I'm not afraid this is going to kill me. Prostate cancer is really treatable. I'm afraid of the process. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to live with cancer.
In my late 40s, my PSA jumped. At first, the PSA was 2, then 4, and that's when the biopsies began. It took 5 years and 5 biopsies to find cancer. My PSA was hovering at 20 when the cancer was discovered.
That was the horrible process. We felt so alone while we were looking for a treatment. And I remember we'd go to doctor appointment after doctor appointment, and every time we'd come out, we just sit there and cry all the way home.
The internet was even worse. The most talked about treatments always came with a host of possible side effects. Your temptation is to move quickly. You hear cancer and just want to get it out of your body. I resisted the temptation and took several months finding the treatment that was right for me, and I'm so glad I did. I wish in those early days we'd had a team of specialists like those at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute to talk with us about all the options, not just the usual treatments.
So you can't rely on friends and relatives or other men in your life who've had prostate cancer and do what they did. You really have to go through this process yourself and figure out what's the best treatment for you, or whether you really want to get treated at all at this point.
Cancer did change my life, but not in the ways I thought it would. We chose a treatment that worked for us. Yes, this is not just your decision. Your wife needs to be part of that process. I think attitude is a huge part of cancer treatment, survival, and moving on. I didn't have to fight cancer, I had to fight Rick Dancer, me. Surviving cancer did have lasting effects on our lives. We discovered how much stronger we are and how short time really is when you think about it. We now do triathlons, our first half marathon. We cycle Oregon and try things we never dreamed of trying before. I'm not trying to glamorize cancer, there is nothing beautiful about it. But cancer let me stare death in the face and then walk away. There is something powerful in the gift of survival.
Guys, the best advice I can give after going through this process is don't rush into anything. First of all, determine whether you need to be treated with your different doctors that you're going to go visit. If you do decide on treatment, look at the side effects and make sure you're comfortable with what's going to happen or what could happen. And then remember, you will get through this.
Life is good now. My PSA is down to 0 for the first time in a decade. My side effects from the treatment are minimal. I look back at this video and remember that day like it was yesterday.
That's kind of where we're at. So keep praying, and I thank you. It'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better.
I was right. It is getting much better.
And tonight on the Soapbox, we are talking about the homeless protests in downtown Eugene. Yes, we have to go there. Some of us are really tired of the protests, not what they're talking about, not even the issues they're talking about. In fact, some of us actually agree with what they're saying. What we're tired of is the lack of respect for public property and what you're doing to our parks. So what are we going to do about it? We need to get our voice involved in that conversation as well. Not screaming and yelling and all that. We need to take action. What we need to do is get involved with the different agencies. There's more than a dozen out there that are helping people in and working on issues of homelessness. We need to get involved in groups like First Place Family Center, the Eugene Mission, Food for Lane County, Hosea Youth Services, Occupy Medicine. All these agencies need our help. They need our money, they need our volunteer time, and that's what we can do. That's what's going to solve the problem. That's what gets your voice in the conversation, and that's our kind of protest. Got it? We are here with Larry and Jerry Lynn Trinan.
Correct.
Local antique dealers, nuts, crazy people about antiques.
I told him to quit saying that. He's very rude.
That's okay. He can edit that right out. Coburg is one of the best shows. It's been a local show. Coburg's an antique town in its very nature. They've always had antique shops here. They have a history with it, and they put on an annual one-day event that brings people from all over the state, some of them out of state. Yeah. And the feature is they have everything. My job is to stand out on the road and get people in.
How do you do that?
When I see people walking along here, so I kind of just move around until I kind of move them in.
And then they ask me how much something is, and I say, well, I'll give it to you, and it's always less than what it's marked. And I
you don't want that on TV.
Look at this. Here's old Valentine cards, and it's stuff that reminds you of your childhood and what you know, things that you don't find anymore.
My childhood, I have an early Apple computer here somewhere.
She might say it's a dinosaur, right?
Absolutely.
Your report on their pizza was why we went there originally.
Kind of feel like I was there. Hey, I'm looking for Sid. Scott, oh wait, there he is. Of course, this is what he's doing. Sid!
Well, hey, Em, how you doing?
What are you doing?
Just drawing Jesus.
Is this have anything to do with your new side project, your comic book?
I do cartoons for the Eugene Daily News.
Right.
The single panel and now. Plus I do, it's going to be Jesus.
It looks like Homer.
I do duck nuts for the sports page, which is about two UO fans that love their ducks and stuff.
I was going to give you a hard time about judging other people's art, but here I feel like you're going to be judged soon, so I'll just leave that alone.
Sounds good, sounds good.
Tell the other people who don't know.
Eugene Daily News has been out for about a couple years now. It's Lane County's internet outlet for information, and I've been their cartoonist since it's begun, and I've been having a blast just doing that. And plus I do the Sunday editorial headline cartoons.
I saw that on Facebook and EugeneDailyNews.com, so congratulations, my good friend.
Yay, from the doodle.
Oh, and on that note, will you get on Rick about paying me? Because that's not been established at all.
This is all for like internship
Yeah,
credit,
that's what he sells it to me, like experience.
Yeah.
Wonder what you have to do to get a waiter around here.
Yeah, I don't think anyone works here.
The other day, Kathy and I went to Dahlia on Broadway.
Right.
Ebe from Soraya Cafe, or Cafe Soraya.
Yeah.
He owns it. He started it. It's where the old Xenon used to be.
Oh, okay. I haven't been there.
Oh my gosh, we sent Will down, our intern. He took some pictures down there. You should see the food in there. I mean, I had a wrap that was chicken shawarma, and it was the most awesome thing I've ever had in my life. It was so good. And it's Lebanese food. It's really different and not your basic sandwich. You know, you're going to get something kind of fun about it. Dahlia on Broadway, where the old Xenon used to be. You will love it. And Ebe knows everything. He does everything well.
My favorite is, of course, Ranchito Grill, right there in Springfield on Mohawk. The chicken is amazing. I know you tease me about only ordering margaritas.
Nice family, too, that everybody runs the business together, so you've got the whole atmosphere of family doing things.
Homemade tortillas. Yeah. That was fun. Go by Ranchito Grill on Mohawk. You put your information in the hat, just the way we get a hold of your name, phone number, email, and you could win dinner for two and 2 drinks from Ranchito Grill. It's so easy.
Waiter.
No, I still don't think that anyone works here.
When it comes to prostate cancer, you don't want to just jump on the first treatment you hear about. There's a lot of options out there for people, and now they're available right here in Eugene. Here's today's water cooler. And welcome to the water cooler. We're here with Dr. David Fryfield, a radiation oncologist at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute. And what I love about what you guys are doing here is some really cutting edge technology and machinery and people that know how to use it. I mean, experts who know what they're doing to offer new options to people, men in this community and their families, for prostate cancer. Talk to me a little bit about some of the different things you offer here at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute.
First of all, I've been here since 1984. I've been in this community practicing radiation oncology, and it is a world of difference today compared to what it was in the past. The technology that we have available today, the tools that we have available today are just phenomenal. The name of the game with radiation is to treat the bad cells, the cancer, and keep all the rest of the surrounding tissue happy.
Right.
That's the trick. And that's not easy to do, but we have a lot of strategies and a lot of tools that allow us to do that so much better today than we ever did before. We want to be very precise in where the radiation goes, where it doesn't go, and control it.
And so what are some of the things that you use to target that? Number one is the type of radiation you use here is very targeted.
Well, it is. We have a very high-powered, expensive linear accelerator that's called Trilogy. And that has something called Smart Arc, IMRT. So that's a lot of words and a lot of initials, but really what that is a very highly computer-controlled delivery of radiation. We are trying to deliver a radiation beam that will cover the area where the cancer is and avoid the surrounding tissue as much as possible. You have to control where it goes and control where it doesn't go. And this tool allows us to do that better than we've ever been able to do that before.
And then you just got here at the clinic another tool called Calypso, which is actually, it's the treatment that I had. Mm-hmm. And that's also just another way of focusing even more that radiation.
Absolutely. Calypso is wonderful technology, and we're really glad that we have it available here now. We're really excited to be able to use it. That comes under the category of image guidance, because when you're very precise about where the treatment is going, you also need to know exactly that the target is right there where you're delivering the treatment each day. So you have to find it, you have to identify it, and you can't see the prostate from the outside of the body. You need to find out where it is inside, and Calypso is one way that allows us to do that.
What's the other way? You were telling me about another piece of
Well,
it.
we also have another capability called cone beam CT scan. It's a mini CT that is on the head of the treatment machine, and we can do a little CT each day and see exactly where the prostate is and the surrounding organs.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So if you want to see the rest of this interview, you can go to the website right here on your screen and find the rest of the interview, because I want to find out a little bit more about these, and you probably do too. Hey Scott, hey, wait. Cheryl, I got another question for Cheryl. She's a city councilor here in Coburg, and so we wanted to find out, there is so much going on out here by the freeway. Can you update me on Camping World and Go-Go Squeeze?
Go-Go Squeeze the applesauce. We have high hopes that they're going to be coming to Coburg. We have Camping World that's going to be open, biggest one in Oregon. That's very exciting. There's the aluminum folks. There's the Hamilton Construction Company. A1 Glass just went out there.
That's what you need,
Oh, it's huge. This is very exciting to us. We've got a wastewater system now, and it's caused a lot of interest in Coburg.
So there's nothing wrong with being a bedroom community, but you want your own industry at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
Leave it to M to find something. This is adventurous for M. Did you know that?
I'm just taking a little break from the antique fair. Thought I'd soak in a little ride.
Kathy and I had our 30th wedding anniversary this year.
Oh, that's special.
It was fun.
She's still keeping you? That is weird. I gotta talk to her
It's
about
in the
that.
dowry. We went zip, dip, and sipping.
I don't know if everyone needs to hear about this.
Watch. want to thank the folks at the Coburg Antique Show and Sale for having us out today and let us poke around with some of the old things. Also, we want to remind you next year it's September 7th, 2014. You know, there's a lot of controversy going on in the world and a lot of things going on right here locally, and sometimes it just gets too much for your head. It's kind of nice to just come out to Coburg, to a place where old is new, and you can kind of look back at how things were and realize that, you know what, this too is going to pass. We'll see you next week.
This is really good stuff in here. You should come in and at least look at it.